be in business and in life, you need to be causing things, not letting things happen to you. You need to be in the pilot seat, in the driver's seat. I don't want to be a passenger of my life. There's greatness in all of us. There's an abundance of money out there. There's an abundance of success in this planet. There's many people right now is the best opportunity to make it if you want to make it. Thinking too small kills entrepreneur. Thus, entrepreneurs need to kill that habit of thinking too small.
It's the man with the plan, Coach Darius D. Brown, and we are back with another episode. I'm excited for this one. We got a real business owner, someone that's out here in the marketplace, really not only transforming lives, but really making an impact in the marketplace, man. But before we even get started, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share with someone that you know that can benefit from this episode and this value that we're about to provide to you guys. But without further ado, you guys know how I roll, right? We only bring the best on this platform. So we got my brother, Kelvin Martinez. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, D.
Absolutely.
Rock and roll.
Yes, indeed, bro.
Give a lot of value to the people, because I know a lot of these podcasts, that's what it's about.
Yes.
People want to watch, people want to learn, people want to see how they can apply successful techniques, and that's exactly what we're gonna give them today.
For sure. Man, what you been up to, man? What's new in your world?
Well, with us, man, we've been rocking and rolling in the business. I'm all about creating businesses, putting the vision forth, and, expanding the family dynamic as well. So we've been implementing a lot of new systems, leveraging AI. We'll probably talk about that a little later on. And just growing the team, man, because we really want to go nationwide and worldwide with all the companies that we have.
Absolutely, bro. Well, for those that are new to the channel, man, Kelvin was actually on our channel a couple of years ago. But listen, man, we're leveling up every season. So I decided to bring him back on, man. And, we appreciate his time and just allowing, himself to even be on the platform, right, to provide this value, man. This man is doing his thing in the marketplace, and we'll get into that momentarily. But what I wanted to ask you, bro, let's just kick it off hot, man. Like, people see the success now, right? But they didn't see the grind, the process. Can you give the people a little bit of insight on what that looked like and why you didn't quit, why you didn't throw in the towel?
Yeah, for sure. Well, so a lot of people don't know, I come from a background of Section 8 housing. I migrated to this country when I was 4 years old. And my life wasn't always like this, single mom, 4 kids, 4 boys. And so it's always been hard for us from early ages. We went through different hurricanes in Puerto Rico, right? I'm from Dominican Republic. But so my life, my whole childhood was a battle. So I had already that within me, right? Like, it's a fight. And so it all started, I started working, man, when I was like 8 years old. Helping my stepdad. He used to build houses. So I'm helping my stepdad build houses and everything like that. So it was just always around me. The grind was something that I always saw.
Right.
So that's why that is also so important for little ones. Like, I know you're a father. Mm-hmm. They have to see that, because it kind of gets ingrained in them, like, okay, this is what we do. This is how it's like. So for me, life has always been a battle, man, and I'm always at war when it comes to that. And what I mean by that is that you're always looking to level up, man. You're never giving up. You're never giving up. You're always doing what you got to do. There's going to be obstacles that are going to come at you, but it's normal to us right now.
Good. That's
Absolutely.
so good. That's so good, man. Actually, for those, so we're in Kelvin's headquarters right now. I know you guys are like, man, this is a different scenery, man. Yeah, we decided to pivot and decide to be in his domain and, shoot this episode, man. So we appreciate that, bro, for even allowing us to come out. Let me ask you this, bro. Like, there's so many people out here that want to start their own business, right? They want to be able to be their own boss, but they're not willing to put enough skin in the game to even level up mentally. A lot of people just look for the bag. They look for the bottom line, but they're not willing to invest in their personal development. What did that look like for Kelvin as far as investing in his personal development and saying, look, in order for me to get to this next level, I got to work within to be the best I can be so I can attract everything else that I want out of life?
Absolutely, man. And, you know, to me, it's very simple. Your business is never going to outgrow your personal development, ever. So when I noticed that, I just started working on me. Like, I need to become great. And I tell any business owner, if the mindset is not there, if you're not working on yourself, forget about it. The business is not going to expand. So forget about the bag. Forget about these other things. They're just not going to happen. So I've always been a person that I've always been curious, D. I've been curious and alert, man. Like, I see things differently. And I would say that that's one of my strengths, right? So, and I use that to develop myself. Like, I'm in a place, I'm looking around. You know, I'm like, what's here? What is that doing here?
Right.
Why is that here? You know, and that allowed me to really work on myself because I was curious. When I started doing business, I'm like, man, this is a whole new world. How do you sell? How do you track statistics? Like, what is the game of business? Like, how do you expand this thing?
Yeah.
You know, and then I started working on those things. I started learning, going to conferences, you know, listening to podcasts like this. On my way to work, when I was, you know, when I had my first store, all I did was listen to like podcasts while I'm driving. And I'm seeing how successful guys are doing what they do. And I was like, ooh, okay. So that is the biggest thing that I would say for an entrepreneur that wants to get the bag, that wants to make money. I would say work harder on yourself than you do on the company. Because everything that you learn when you're working on yourself, you're going to automatically apply it in the business. In the business, you're going to see the numbers.
Right. Right. Why do you feel like entrepreneurs hit a plateau after they start making a little bit of money?
Well, man, you know, business is it's a sports about money, man. It is about money. Like, that is the scoreboard.
Right.
Money is the scoreboard. You know, basketball, you have, you know, the points that
you got to score. Yeah.
You got to score.
Yeah.
So in business, you have statistics, and the statistics are reflected upon revenue. You measure many, many other things, but revenue is the main score. And I would say business owners, like from my experience, they hit a plateau. They're not revolutionizing with the times. Like, you got to stay ahead. Like, right now, we have AI coming into play. You have to leverage these tools that are coming out. You have to start seeing what your public wants.
Right.
And providing value to those customers. So you have to investigate, and you have to be willing to start changing. So that's one of the things that I see, like, business owners, like, they stay in old trades. Like, I remember this guy that had a dealership in the 90s, right? And he did, like, buy here, pay here. And it was working great in the 90s. But nowadays, you have different banks. You have different ways to acquire. You have Carvana, CarMax, you know, where these guys are making it so easy for you to acquire a car online. But he didn't adapt. Right. So, you know, it just went downhill from there because he was using all methods. And then the stubbornness.
Yeah.
The stubbornness of, like, no, I know what I'm doing. Like, bro, you're always learning.
Yeah.
You never know it all.
Correct.
See, that's the way I approach life.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm not too good to say I know it all.
That's good, bro. That's good. We were actually talking before the episode, and I was sharing with Kelvin that, man, I got into a point where, with even in our business, we hit a plateau because I was so stubborn and set in my ways that I did not want to pivot. I felt like if it wasn't broke, don't fix it type thing. But my wife was like, babe, like, things are changing. Things are evolving in the marketplace and even within our industry. And then when I came to my senses, like, wait a minute, my wife is right. It's time to pivot. It's time to understand what's new out there and stop being so engulfed in the old habitual habits that you have been operating in as a business owner. And when I decided to say, you know what, let me get out of my own way and let me learn more, man, it's like went from 6 figures to multiple 6 figures, right? Now, this is keeping it real with the Browns, man, and you know, you have generated millions of dollars in your business. What was it like when you hit that first million, and did you sit in it for a minute, or did you say, you know what, it's time to double that, it's time to triple that? And what did that require for you to even get to the next level in your business and income?
Absolutely. I'll answer that right now. But first, I really want to touch on the part of the stubbornness and how to adapt in business, right? So I just wanted to add in there, you never want to undo a working installation. So a lot of people, they want to reinvent the wheel, but they stop doing what was working for their business. It's all right to pivot, and it's all right to try new things in your business, but don't stop doing those things that were working before.
Right.
double down on those things that were working, reinforce them, make them better, right?
Right.
And then you can start piloting, trying these new things to see how they do. And if they supersede this other way that you had, then amazing. Then we double down on that.
Right.
But I wouldn't just start trying new things every day and stop working on those things that are bringing in revenue.
Correct.
Those things that customers really do enjoy.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to touch on that because that's important for business owners. I see business owners that are doing things that are successful, and then they'll stop to try this whole other thing. Like they'll have a good working business, and they're like, nah, man, I'm going to go try trading now because trading is hot, and my boys are doing that. Where you're making revenue doing this other thing that you were doing. Like keep making revenue there. Let's say you have a car wash business. Yeah, I'm going to go try trading because that's making a lot of millionaires now. Wait, you could go do trading, but make sure that this still gets your attention and make sure that this is still producing.
Bro, that's so good, man, because I feel like social media plays a major part in that. People see the glitz and glamour and they think this particular industry will generate them a certain amount of money. But I'm a strong believer, whatever works in Kelvin's business, right, may not necessarily work for D Brown because alignment has to be there. If there's not alignment there, I'm like, well, dang, Kelvin put me on X, Y, and Z blueprint, and I'm not here to get churchy, but I am a man of faith, and I strongly believe for so long I was chasing things for, number one, validation, and I was like, well, it works for this person, but it doesn't work for me because I was out of alignment. There was no alignment there, so it's just like, yo, now I understand it to its totality as a man of faith and a successful business owner, where I'm like, I get why that didn't work. Yeah. Because if I would have inserted myself in a business model, because I get a lot of people, bro, that reach out to me and be like, bro, I think you should do this. It sounds good, but number one, is it conducive to where I'm going, right? And then also, is it in alignment with what God has for me and my family? That's it. And a lot of people, they miss that point. They miss that because they're self-centered and they're like making it about them instead of doing it for a bigger cause, if that makes sense. So you said something very profound. And of course, I want you to answer the question as far as, you know, how you generated this income and what it took to get there. But I want to expound on that, bro, because I feel like social media, they only see the highlight reel, but they don't see the real.
Yeah, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Hell yeah. There's a lot of like behind the scenes, man. And social media, of course, you only put your best, right? You see people, they'll spend days editing a photo before they post it up.
Facts.
So it's like they're not taking exactly what's happening raw and throwing it out there. Like they're only trying to post their best. It's almost like, you know, your dream board. You're only going to put the best picture up there. If it comes out of the printer all wrinkled, you're probably not going to put it on your dream board. You're going to reprint it until it's on there. So social media, I mean, it's a great networking app. It's a great place to find friends and network and whatever the case may be. But remember, everybody, bro, living life is going through some stuff. Like we're in this planet together. Right. Like the problems that I'm encountering, more than likely, my peers are encountering. Right. You see what I'm saying? Those things that happen to me are happening to others. Yeah. Like life ain't fucking perfect, bro. Facts. Yeah. Yeah. Life is rough. This universe is rough. So you have to learn how to like maneuver around it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't pay attention a lot to everything that you see on social media. Right now, you can make money doing everything. There's better vehicles, right? There's better businesses that make better money. But I find that if you really work on yourself, you study the game that you're in, and you provide value, if there's a problem in an industry and you could come in and solve it, you'll make money.
That's a fact. Come on now. Listen, make sure we're going to have Kelvin's credentials in the description. So please make sure you guys follow him on his Instagram. We'll have his website, everything to get in contact with him. But yeah, man, let's get back into it. As far as when you made that first million, bro, what did that look like for you? What was the goal before? Let's piggyback. Before you even, what was it like when you generated the first six figures? And then how did you go back to the drawing board and say, okay, now it's time to level up? And then how did you get to that next level in business?
Yeah. So our head was down, man. Like we didn't even, to be honest with you, we didn't even have a target because a lot of people start businesses and they start them not saying, bro, I'm going to take this nationwide and make $1 billion with this business. At least I didn't. Right? I just said, bro, I need to replace my income. I was in a place where my back was against the wall and I had to take action. Right? So when I made my first 6 figures, it happened because of my hard work, and that's it. Right? And this is where you would look at that business owners will plateau because there's no strategy, there's no plan, there's no target. And I feel like if I didn't pivot at that moment, I would have probably stayed at 6 figures. So when we hit 6 figures, like hard work will get you there. You see what I'm saying? You want 6 figures? Work hard and you'll get there. Every day, like we were waking up 5 in the morning, going to bed at 2 in the morning, working hard. You know, I was working with my brothers and we were going ham. But there was no 6-figure target. There was no $1 million target. There was just like, bro, let's work hard on this and let's make this the best thing that we can. Let's just see where we can take this. Right. But you see, when you have a target, imagine you're going to Disneyland, but the target is not Disneyland. Like, let's just get in a car and drive. Bro, you'll never make it to Disneyland.
There's no GPS.
There's no GPS. So at first we were driving it like that. You know, we're driving the business just with hard work. So when we hit 6 figures, like I'm like, oh, whoa, okay, we're at 6. Now I was looking at, can we go to $1 million? But the only reason why I was thinking about $1 million is because I was already working on myself and learning about business.
Sheesh, bro. Say that for the people in the back one more time.
Hell yeah. I would say the reason why we started looking at $1 million is because I was working on myself and working on learning how to do business. See, because before I wasn't even looking at targets. So we hit 6 figures. Around that same time that we do that, I'm doubling down on personal development. I'm trying to read any book that I can under the heading of business, sales, marketing, and taking any course. Like I've spent millions of dollars on personal development. My own, my kids, and my wife's.
That's powerful.
And today I spend on my team's personal development.
Wow, bro. We
have programs within the company where we are, you know, paying, the company pays for them to get better in whatever field they're doing.
Powerful.
You see what
That's
I'm
a true leader, man. That's a true leader, bro. Much respect to you because a lot of people don't see that. I'm a firm believer as long as you put other people in position to win, you'll win every time.
Absolutely.
If I have a team, I'm not putting myself before my team, right? You said something very symbolic before. I don't know if you remember this, but I said you don't go as far as your dream, you go as far as your team. And you said that may be true, but it's the right team that you have to have, right? Because I'm pretty sure you go through a vetting process with your team to ensure that the alignment is there and these people can push the mission and the objective forward, right? Absolutely. To take the business to the next level, right? And I'm pretty sure that your retention is solid, right? Because there's so many business owners out here that are making money, but they have a high retention, like turnover rate.
Oh, absolutely.
It's constant turnover, because they're not being intentional with it.
And you'll have that, by the way, D. Like you'll have that. Like you'll have a bad retention. Like in business in general, it's the planet that we're living in. You know, some people just want to clock in and have a job, but that's not our company, bro. Like you're not just like we don't have like that's McDonald's. You know, and no disrespect, but they've made jobs. Like, see, we carry ourselves with a mission and a purpose.
That's good, bro.
So everybody that comes into our company, like, they have to align with our core values. They have to align with what we're doing. If not, we're not bringing them in. Because, I don't want to employ people. I want to create a team that helps me further my mission and vision. And while we're doing that, they get to win as well.
That's good.
So yeah, we do have some turnover. Some people that just won't make it, you know. Yeah. They just want to clock in. Correct. But we don't have a clock-in system. We have I'm going to show up and help you build, and I'm going to build myself while I'm doing this.
Yeah. So it's more of a partnership.
Absolutely.
Right. It's funny, man, because I always tell people that we bring on board, you don't work for us, you work with us. Yeah. Big difference, right? My grandmother used to always say, treat the janitor like a boss, because everybody plays a role to prevent you from taking a loss. Mm-hmm. No matter what role you're in, each role matters. Each role is equally as important. And as a leader, as a CEO, as a business owner, you have to look at it like that. Let me ask you this, bro, like circles, environment, how important is that when you are looking to level up in life? Like when you got to let people go and you got to be like, yo, I rock with you, but right now you ain't ready to evolve. Yeah, and because you're not ready to evolve, I got to love you enough to leave you where you're at because I'm on a different assignment.
Absolutely, man. I smile because we're huge. Me and my wife, we're huge on this. Like, we really are very picky with our relationships. You know, back then I had so-called friends. Everybody was my friend, right? And 99% of them have not made it to the space where Kelvin is right now, right? And the reason for that is because not everyone is your friend, right? You have to see, you know, who's really interested in you. And it's really simple to identify that. You look at, you know, who has my best interest at heart? And anybody opposed to that is not a friend. Anybody who has your best interest, who supports you, guides you, is not looking at you as a challenge, is a friend. Somebody who genuinely can call you and say, hey, man, you're good today? Hey, man, I see you doing blah. Amazing. Supports you. Like, anything that you're doing gives you support. That's a real friend. You know, anybody else is pretty much just around for a personal interest, right? So my circles are very important to me because I can identify, okay, who's going to be around for a personal interest and who's around for a real friend. So I don't have many real friends. I have a lot of people that, okay, we'll exchange because this world is about exchanging. Mm-hmm. My customers exchange with me. I exchange with them. I solve your problems, you solve mine. It's an even exchange. We're exchanging with each other right now.
Correct.
I give you something of value, you give me something of value. A lot of relationships are like that, right? The customer relationship, the husband and wife, it's an exchange. Every single relationship has an exchange factor in it. And that's why people may, I heard you guys talking about transactional when it came to friendships on one of you guys' episodes. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll be honest with you, you know, some instances of relationships will be transactional. Because that's the exchange. You see, we use the money to be able to get, you know, I'll give you a service, you give me money, we transact, and we're both happy. Right. Now, a real friend, you know, could be transactional, but has an interest, a genuine interest for you. And not everybody does. So that's how we're able to identify. So my circle for me is really small d. You know, I could probably count them with one hand, those people that I really call friends. There's many acquaintances that we do business. There's many people that I learn from and they learn from me. So there's many people that I exchange with. But when it comes to friends and circles, very freaking picky. That's so good. And me and my wife, it's almost like an interview. We go out with another family and we are interviewing that family. You know, believe it or not. We're looking at, you know, what are their core values? Do they align with ours? Yeah. You know? Yeah. And it's like, if they don't align, bro, like, I'm sorry because you're gonna slow me down. Yeah. You know, so that's how I treat my circles. Yeah. And that has been so successful for us because money is a frequency and it's energy, right? Money's energy. A lot of people, okay, money's money. It is a tool. It is not valuable unless it is used. But at the end of the day, it flows on a different frequency. Mm-hmm. Our voice right now is vibrating in this air and it's through a frequency and it's creating a vibration that you can hear sound. Your eardrums, you don't have a microphone in there that picks up what I'm saying. You have really a vibrator in there, something that picks up vibration, and that's why we're able to hear noise. So frequencies are, you know, you hear a lot of people talking about, you know, positive vibes only, this and this and that. There's an actual technology for you to understand that deeper than just a quote. That's good. So money is the same thing. Money is a frequency. And money runs away, bro, when the frequency is vibrating at lower levels. Wow, that's so good, bro. Because it doesn't operate on that frequency. Mm-hmm. So if you want money, man, like money hates problems. Money hates drama. Facts. You know, money hates criminals. Facts. You know, Pablo Escobar, he became a billionaire, but he went down. Yeah. People know him today for a criminal. Yeah. Yeah. They don't know him for being the greatest of the greatest. Right. No, there was no longevity in that game. There's no longevity. You can make money quick because money works also on an exchange system. Yeah. I give you something that's valuable to you, you give me money, and if I can multiply that in volume, then I can make money. But eventually this money riding on that frequency will bring you to your downfall if that frequency you're operating very low. Bro. Man, listen, he is speaking heavy right now. That's crazy. Like, I tell people, bro, I don't have a circle. I have a dot. You have a dot? I have a dot. My wife would tell you, man, like, I protect not only my energy and my peace, because
if it costs me my peace, it's too expensive. And I tell people, bro, like, it's a lot of people in the last 6-8 months that I'm like, deuces. And I'm unapologetic with it because I'm so tunnel vision. It's like no distractions. And it's crazy, like when we start giving up stuff that no longer served us, me and my wife, and we, got back into church and like things just start opening up and people were like, oh, you guys changed. I'm like, yeah. Like, it's like a caterpillar in a cocoon. It goes through a metamorphosis and it breaks out into this beautiful butterfly. It changed. It evolved. Yeah. And if you are scared to evolve, then Nipsey Hussle said it. The late, great Nipsey Hussle said it. He said, find your purpose or you're just wasting air. Yeah. You're waking up like an accident. And I can't afford to be around people that wake up like an accident because every decision that I make not only dictates my life, but every generation after me, my children, their children. So if I go around and mess around with you guys want to party, you want to turn up. I don't have time for that. Time is ticking. It only goes forward. And if that's what you want to do, cool. But that's not what I'm on because I got people that's relying on me. So that's good, bro. Dang, okay. That's powerful. Yeah, bro. You guys, the synergy, and even your wife is here, and my wife speaks so highly of you guys. Like, we speak highly of you. That's dope. And the beautiful thing about it, I want to share this with our audience, is this. When you respect other people and couples like you all that are out here really making an impact and being a team and building something beautiful, because you guys are inspiring not only the Browns, but other people all over, people that you haven't even met before. You haven't even rubbed shoulders with these people. And they're like, man, Kelvin and his family, they're doing it. They're making it happen. They're making an impact, bro. So I'm proud of you in that aspect. Now, what did Kelvin have to truly unlearn in order to grow?
Bro, everything that I was taught. Literally everything. I normally say this to my staff, and it's like, this universe is backwards, bro. Like, everything that you've been taught, just look at the opposite, and that is the truth. Simple. Mm-hmm. Everything that you've been taught, look at the opposite, and that is the truth. Because, I was taught as a child, money was evil. It's like, man, I'll leave $1 here. I'll leave $100 bill here. I can leave $1 million in a suitcase in this table and come back in 10 years, and it'll be right there, and it will never kill nobody.
Facts.
You see, so money's not evil. And there's many myths that they've told us growing up. So I had to unlearn everything that I learned growing up. Everything taught in school. I remember when I was studying in school, they had the X plus Y equals. I've dealt with millions and multi-millions of dollars. I've never had to do that equation. Okay? So, and the big thing that hits right here as adults and young adults that want to do businesses, I would say, is when you look at partying, the drugs, because it ain't no secret. Like, we've been through it.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? We've been
I should be outside.
Today we really work on ourselves.
Yes.
We really want the family unit to be strong. We want the kids to have a better future. We want people to really get value when you're around them. Because what is it for? Like you said, you're just wasting air at that point. And, so we rock on a different frequency. But that doesn't mean that we were perfect or that we're perfect.
I like that, yes.
We had to go through our things. I had to unlearn everything about alcohol. I had to unlearn weed makes me think better. I had to unlearn, you see what I'm saying? It's okay to work hard and then party. No, bro, it's not okay, because one party may ruin your whole life.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? One party, one nightstand can have you laid up with a kid that you didn't want, with a kid that you didn't anticipate. Mm-hmm. So that's what Kelvin had to unlearn. All these things that we see out there that we think is cool, normally it's not. And all these quotes that we hear, man, most of these things, they're made for you to stay poor. Wow. They're made for you to stay suppressed. So that's what I had to learn and really look at the side of expansion and abundance. And so that's the answer to that
That's
question.
good, bro. So what was in the interim of you having to unlearn? What was that process like? Did you get away? Did you, outside of investing and going to like these events, like what did Kelvin do in the interim of saying enough is enough? I'm tired of being where I'm at. Let me level up and let me put the excuses to the side and make those adjustments.
Well, I'll tell you a story here. I'll tell it to the camera. So I remember going to an event, right, an entrepreneur event. And after the event was like from 9 in the morning till about 6. After the event, my buddies were with me, and we were in Miami. And so after the event, we go to the club. So we're in the club after the event, and a group of people that were in that event, they call me, right? And they're FaceTiming me. And I look at them, and they're in a room with headphones, closing deals, making sales. And I'm looking at me and my group of peers, and I'm like, bro, we're out here drinking and clubbing after such a powerful event. These guys are out here in the room applying what they just learned. See, moments like that impacted me. I'm like, I'm in the wrong circle. I'm doing the wrong things. So there was a lot of like self-analysis through this process where you could see for yourself. You know, you're not too stubborn to know when something is wrong. So moments like that shaped me. I was like, okay, I got to leave this life because what do I really want? Do I really want to just continue partying and having this type of lifestyle? Or do I want the success? And do I want the life where all my dynamics are aligned? Dynamics, I mean all parts of your life. You, your family, your groups, your team, you know, your environment. How do you want those things to be? And you have to make a decision. Mm-hmm. There's no maybe. There's no limbo. There's either yes or no, black or white. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so working through everything else, these were the moments that I was seeing, okay, this is not the life that I want. And impacted me, and I took action right away. So when you realize that for yourself, just don't leave that lightly. You're realizing it for a reason. Like there's greater purpose within you where you're noticing that. You know, you're more aware than others where they won't notice it. But if you're noticing that, you have great power within, and you have to pay attention to that and take action on it.
That's good.
Cold turkey.
That's good, man. And that's one of the reasons why I have no regrets. I'm glad that I went through the journey that I went through and how it panned out, because it was like for a long time I was like, man, if I didn't hang out with this crew, if I didn't do this at 18, 19, 20, 21, my early 20s, I would already be where I, you know, was destined to be, or whatever the case may be. But when I look back in retrospect, bro, I'm like, no, I went through that process for a reason, because as you mentioned, you're out in Miami with your friends, you got another circle calling you, and they're showing you in real time. They're out here really focused. They're taking the information that they just received and they're executing on it immediately. Meanwhile, me and my crew, we're like, let's celebrate.
We're partying, man.
We're
Getting
partying.
drunk, waking up late, tired.
But that's where you have to extend a little bit of grace for yourself. And even the people that haven't committed to leveling up and evolving, right? I've learned to not condemn people for not wanting to evolve right then and there, right?
Everybody has a journey.
Because at one point I was there. So I always tell even my mentees, I said, don't compare your lap 1 to my lap 21. When I was at lap 1, I was a knucklehead. I was stubborn. It was hard to get. Then I look back and I'm looking at these kids. Like I mentor, like even at Mountain View High School, I mentor these kids there, and I'm listening to them, and it's teaching me a level of compassion, patience, grace. Because I remember being 15, 16 years old. I left home at 15, right? I left home at 15. So understanding like, man, these kids, number one, I'm not going to turn my cheek on these kids because they may not be receiving the level of love or support or respect at home. So they're finding it elsewhere.
Absolutely.
And I think, and you can piggyback on this as well, why having the right mentor is so essential. Having the right people that have your best intentions at heart, like you mentioned, that can pour into you so you can take that support, that love, and really go out there and make, kill stuff out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the world's a ruthless place. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, everybody's journey is different. So there's no, when you put stuff out, I'll elaborate on it a little more. When you're putting stuff out, you're only putting stuff that's within you. You see what I'm saying? So when you see people sharing different things about others or whatever the case may be, that's all because it exists within them. They're sharing their frustration, their emotions. So, back then it used to really impact me. Piggybacking on what you said about lap 1 and lap 21, like, damn, why is such and such saying this and this? But now I understand it's just like they have to go through their process. They're only sharing their frustration, and instead of being mad, it's kind of a sense of like pity now. It's like, man, I feel for them. I want them to be able to have that encounter, so they can see, because there's a whole nother side of life, a whole nother side. And some are awake, some are sleeping, and it is what it is. But, going to what you're saying with the mentor, it is very important because, like, I remember I learned one thing about Jim Rohn, and he said, man, if you want to be broke, do what broke people do. And then I just apply that to the max, looking at the other side of the coin. Then if I want to be rich, I'm going to do what rich people do. But see, it's not only what rich people do, like there's morals in between. There's some rich people that are assholes, that have no core values. So I can't really identify with you. But there's some rich people that have values.
Wow.
That have those family traits that I want, that treat their team right. And those are the guys that I want to associate with. You see? So the mentors that I'm looking for, they just cannot just be rich.
That's so good, bro.
They have to align with the core values that I also align with, that I identify with. Like, I deal with a lot of business partnership and different business acquisitions. When I'm getting in an office like this, I'm meeting landlords. And then I see how they talk to their staff. And I see how they deal. And I'm like, okay, he may have all the money in the world, but I don't respect him because of how he treats others, because of his ways, because of what he's doing. He's cheating on doing this, doing that. I'm like, okay, you're rich, but that's all you are.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? With me, bro, I ain't trying to just be rich. I'm trying to be complete. Like, I'm trying to reach the maximum level of success that I can in every single area of my life. And it's not just money.
Yeah.
Because success, bro, it's manifested in many, many different ways.
Yeah.
Somebody may disagree with me and say, oh, too flashy. Okay, great, because you like to wear, dollar store stuff. Great. That's your level of success.
Come on.
You see
Talk
what I'm
about
saying?
it. Yes.
But my success, I want to look good.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different viewpoint.
Absolutely.
I may like a black wall. Somebody likes it white. Great. That doesn't mean that I'm wrong, bro.
Yeah.
That's just what I want to do.
Yeah.
Somebody says, when I get a bunch of money, I'm going to ride around in a Corolla. Great. Mm-hmm. That's how you see your success. Amazing, bro. I'm going to clap for you. But don't come and fucking come at me.
Come on.
When I'm buying my Lamborghini, because that's the way that I work for it, bro. That's
Absolutely.
my level of success.
That's good, bro.
So that's why, like, everybody's different. And I respect everybody. I have a lot of Muslims that I know, that I do business with. They do different things in religion. I respect that. Mm-hmm. I talk to them about it. Tell me more about that, bro. They just ended like a fasting period.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of
Ramadan.
individuals that, what is it called?
Ramadan.
The Ramadan. Mm-hmm. I'm like, tell me about that. How does that work for you? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm not like, oh, no, that's their viewpoint. That's what they want to do. And I'm happy for them if it's creating happiness for them. So that's what I look at when I'm looking at a mentor. You see, I just gave you a whole kind of scope around it. I need to make sure that it aligns with what I want, but I'm not going to hate on it if there's other things that they're doing that just don't align. They just don't align, so you won't be a mentor or somebody that I look up to. Yeah. Simple as that. But I'm not going to go and talk bad about you. That's the way you want to live life. Amen.
Man, the alignment is real. I'm over here smiling, man, because everything you just said, man, that's what I live on, bro. Like, my mentor, even my pastor, he talks about it. I'm going through a second phase of a 12-week strenuous cohort. So I graduate. I get pinned. My pinning ceremony is May 1st. But this is the second go around. So it's a 24. I've gone through this thing for 24 weeks. Got pinned last year. Now I'm getting pinned again this year. And my pastor talked about it, and he was saying that you just hit it on the nail, bro. How there's so many successful people from their bank account, but they're poor in other areas. They're poor relationally. They're poor emotionally. They don't know how to properly process their emotions. They're poor spiritually, right? And the relational part really caught me because I was just like, for a long time, I didn't know how to like value certain relationships because of the abandonment of my mother. I left home at 15 and my father being in and out of the picture. So as I grew up as an adolescent, I carried on this trauma, right? Until I got with my wife, and you can attest, having the right woman in your life can either make you or break you as well, right?
Absolutely.
So you can expound on that momentarily, but our pastor was just like, listen, you can have all the money in the world, but I'm testing your character. I'm going to poke at your character. And if your character is flawed, it's only so far that you can go in life, right? Because how you treat people, number one, it's not how you treat people outside. It's how you treat the people that are closest to you, your wife, your kids. Because they're going to either get the worst of you or the best of you because they're always around you.
Yep.
And so if you're not, and I'm going to just keep it a buck because this is just keeping it real with the Browns.
Let's go.
What really pisses me off about people is this. They'll put up a facade and they'll make it seem like they have their stuff in order, but they don't lead by example.
Yes.
They only lead by advice. But their advice and their example, they don't correlate. It's like, bro, but I seen you talking disrespectful to your wife. I seen it in real time. You making a lot of money. You driving the nice cars. But I can't respect you on that level, bro. But you treat everybody else well, but you don't even treat your own home well.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
It is.
So, man, bro, listen, that's so good. And then you also mentioned as far as money running away from confusion, money running away from drama. If you can just enlighten the audience a little bit more on that, as far as, because a lot of people, you mentioned about pity party. You know, people like to play the victim role. Why me? Or things are not going my way because of X, Y, and Z. Expound on that, bro. Like a person that's trying to get to the next level, but being in the victim role.
It will never happen because you're assigning your power to someone else or something else. I feel like responsibility is the ability to gain power. And you need power to level up. To go through all this, man, you need power. You're not going to leave your current situation in a hole and get out of it if there's no power. So not taking responsibility, which is playing the victim role. See, the victim role is just, I'm not taking responsibility for what's happening. That's all it is. Victim says, this happened to me. Somebody who takes responsibility says, I created this. What did I do or not do for this situation to manifest itself? So when you do that, you gain your full power and self-determinism versus when you say, oh, man, I was driving and all of a sudden this guy came out of nowhere and hit me. I was doing everything great. Yeah, but you were the one who decided to get in your car that morning, weren't you?
Come on, bro. That's good.
So that's responsibility. So I would say that people that play the victim role, I'm sorry. You're just not going to make it. Now, the way to go about it is start looking at, what did I do in this situation? What did I not do? What did I fail to recognize? And it's not blame neither. Two separate things. Responsibility is the highest form. Blame is like, oh man, I'm such a horrible person, which I don't allow myself or anyone that I care about to ever do around me. Don't ever talk down about yourself. So it's not on a flow of blame. It's more of a flow of like, what could have I done? What part did I take in this? Because that's when you really gain your power and where you can really overcome whatever situation you're dealing with. And that's one of the core values that I even teach my team, my kids, everyone. Okay, we're in this situation. What did we do to get into it? That's when you can really think analytically with a solution. Otherwise, when you say no, oh my God, things are so tough, things are happening to me, you're giving away your power to even analytically think about the situation, and you're just not going to take action. So you'll be in effect instead of being in the side of causing things to happen. See, in business and in life, you need to be causing things, not letting things happen to you. You need to be in the pilot seat, in the driver's seat. I don't want to be a passenger of my life. I want to be in full control. So I take full responsibility in everything that I'm involved with. Even if that thing comes out at me and I don't have no involvement, I'm in that place, so I'm taking responsibility.
You face it.
I'm facing it.
That's
if
good.
I'm at the mall and there's a fucking earthquake happening, I'm like, okay, what did I do for this earthquake to happen?
Yeah.
How can I take responsibility?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, no, whoa. No, man. It's like, okay, we're here now. I decided to come to this mall, so let's handle the situation. You see? And that's the different approach that it takes, man, if you really want to level up. So the victim mentality, I'm sorry, but you're just going to stay being an earth walker at that point.
Love it. All right, man, listen. I know he's a busy, productive guy, so we don't want to keep him too long. But what's 5 things if a person says, man, listen, this is some value. I have a business. I'm about to start a business. What are 5 things they need to start doing today?
Today, all right, so number 1, I would say mindset. Working on yourself. Like, man, I've seen so many great business ideas, so many great companies that are just not making more money because the founder, the CEO, just has a mindset of just not prosperity. So I would say work on your mindset. That's number 1. Number 2, I am learning sales. I'm learning how to sell. I am learning marketing. I am staying ahead of these things that have to do with business, right? We're talking about business. You want to get ahead in business.
Yes.
Number 1, work on yourself harder than anything else. Number 2, I'm learning sales and marketing, right? Number 3, I'm seeing how I can deliver more value than anybody else with my products and services,
Okay.
right? Number 4, you are in control. Believe so much about yourself than anybody else. Like, I don't need other people to believe in me. I need to believe in me. I need to know that I can get this done. So that is number 4. And number 5, because with these, you'll just kill it. Number 5 is set your intention, man, on where you're going. Your intention is your target, right? And set it, and you'll have anything that you want. You see what I'm saying? So I would say, like, do you want to make money? Put a number in there and be intentional about it and go after it and apply the other 4, and you will end up with it. And at the end of the day, man, I'll throw a bonus one because I always like to overdo it.
Let's do it, man.
Be a great person. Be a great person, man, in this life. Do the right thing, right? Doing the wrong thing, you know, you can take shortcuts, but you want to get rich for sure. You want to be successful for sure in whatever area of success, whatever success looks for you. You want that for sure. You don't want to take shortcuts because it's almost like, you know, you're throwing a burden in the way there. So be a great person, man. Be tough. Be tough because this is a tough universe. The weak are going to be demolished, but be great. But be great. Do well by others. Keep your promises. Keep your words. And, you know, just live life to the fullest, man.
I love it. So be assertive. Assertive is key.
Absolutely.
I love it. We have a couple of questions, man, from some of our supporters that I would like to ask you if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
And if you can expound on it. This person says, I feel stuck at the same income level. What should I change first?
I feel stuck at the same income level. Well, it just depends the level that you're at. I mean, because income is just about multiplication. It's just multiply. Like, you know, just make it simple. So if you're stuck at a certain income level, okay, what income level is that and what income level do you want to go to? So I would look at it, let's say like this. I'm just going to throw random numbers. This person makes $100 a client. Okay, and if you're stuck at 100,000 because you're only exchanging 1,000 clients, then okay, what can you do is like, okay, how many more clients do you need to go to 200,000? So if you're stuck at 100,000, just multiply. Okay, my product is 100, or see what more value you can add to increase that pricing. Or what else, you see what I'm saying? So it's very easy. It's just multiplication. So the first thing I would do, if I was that person, I would look at the target that I'm trying to get to.
Got it.
And work it backward. It's simple math.
Got it. This one is a really good one. Should I focus more on customers or better systems?
Both. Because you can work on systems all day, every day. But then what happens to the customers?
You don't have a customer.
You need a customer to bring you, to exchange with your products and services. So, like Jeff Bezos, billionaire, they took 11 years working on Amazon and reinvesting everything in their products and services, but because they had the customer in mind. But they didn't stop delivering. So they were making things better for the customer and for the company simultaneously.
Got it.
And that's why today they're Amazon and, 2-day shipping and all these greater things. So I would focus on both.
Both. Good. How do I stay motivated when growth is slow?
Purpose. Goals. You know what I'm saying? So I would write down my goals. I would see where I'm going. And that's what motivates me. That's what drives me. Why do I get up? There's got to be some reason there. And you don't have to have, some people are looking for purpose. They're looking for this big old thing. They're looking for a lifelong purpose. Purposes can change. Today I may have a purpose because I want to buy a new house. I'm going to work hard because I want to take my family into a better neighborhood. That is the why. That is my purpose right now. Why I'm going to go hard. Boom. It could be another one, hey, I want to be the first in my family. I want to help my mom. A lot of immigrants, I'm an immigrant, right? So a lot of immigrants are coming to this country and want to bring their family. I'm going to work hard because I want to bring my mom from whatever country she's in. Good. That's your purpose. So always remind yourself, why are you doing it? Right? What's the target? And if you don't have a why, at least set a target, and that's the why.
It's good, man. You guys make sure you subscribe, like. We'll have Kelvin's information in the description below, so make sure you guys tap in with my brother. He's out here doing some amazing things. All right, bro, so another question for you. So when should I hire versus do everything myself?
Oh, man, right away. I would say at first, as an entrepreneur, you're doing all the hats. But you have to start delegating right away because, then you won't be able to service as many customers. You see, it's all about multiplication. How many people can you serve equals how much revenue can you bring in. So I would start delivering and hiring. Let's see, soon as my business is producing enough where I can get a person, I can hire a person, pay them, I would set a metric for that person because employees don't cost money. Lack of production costs money.
Wow.
That's see?
Good.
So a lot of people are thinking that an employee is going to cost them money. No. A lot of people don't measure this statistic. How much money could have I made if I had 2 or 3 guys doing this with me?
That's good.
That's a metric that you also measure. So I would say, as soon as you have any system, let's say I would put simple businesses. The most simpler business are car wash business, let's say. You're washing cars on your own. You have now 50 customers. It's bringing money in. And it's going, it's booming. More customers are hitting you up. I am getting another person to start helping me wash cars. And then I'm like, hey, you also need to bring in more customers. I'm setting a metric for him so he can also go out there and develop more. Because if I'm doing 50, you got to do 50.
Makes sense.
But now we're doubling the business.
Makes sense.
And he's not costing me money because more revenue's coming in.
I like it.
He would only cost me money if we go down to doing 25 cars, the both of us.
Right.
I was already doing 50 by myself. So that means that we got to do 100 now.
Yeah, you got to double.
We got to double.
Yeah.
So that's how I would look at bringing in employees. And so an employee is either going to make you make more revenue directly or it's going to help the processes so revenue is made faster.
Love it.
There's 2 types, operational and direct revenue generators. So you just got to look at your situation. But operational, you don't start looking at that as when you're growing more and more, you're looking at operational. At first, look at people that can bring in more revenue right away, and those are the people I'm looking at hiring.
Got it.
If I would have done that when I was starting, I would have done it.
Makes sense. All right, last question here. What's the first real sign your business is leveling up?
Man, This is a super easy question to answer, and I almost got to laugh at it. It's just statistics. Track everything that you're doing. Track the numbers that are important. How many customers am I servicing? How much revenue is coming in the door? How much is it costing us to deliver? How much new leads are we getting? How many eyeballs do we have on our pages? Like, the sign is going to be the statistics, the graph. That's it. If last year we were at 20,000 and this year we are at 50,000, I can see that on a graph very clearly because I'm tracking it. That's the sign that the business is leveling up. There's no other sign. Because if you're not tracking statistics, you're just flying blind. You're getting in your car with a blindfold and hitting the accelerator and the drive, like, you're going to crash, bro.
You're going to crash, yeah.
So, track statistics from day one.
Yeah.
Like, did we make $1 today? I'm going to put that in like, there's so many ways to do it. You can put it in your notes on your phone. You can put it on Google Sheets, you know, free accounts, QuickBooks. Like, if you can't pay for something, shit, you could do it in writing. People back then had successful businesses and tracked statistics by hand. Buy yourself a notebook.
Yeah. Well, no composition
April
notebooks.
1st, 2026,
Yeah.
I made $50. Good.
Yeah.
April 2nd, I made 60.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact,
Statistics is how you know if your business is growing.
Love it, man. Love it. Man, listen, we have this thing called the fire round. So I'm going to give you basically say this or that, and you're going to give me your answer. All right, but we're going to just run through it.
You're going to lock me in?
I'm going to lock you all the way in, bro. All right.
Can't be locked down.
But you know, you the man with the plan. So, hustle or strategy?
Strategy.
Comfort zone or growth zone?
Growth zone, of course.
Friends or focus?
Focus.
Invest in marketing or systems first?
Marketing.
Discipline or motivation?
Discipline.
One habit every entrepreneur must kill?
Self-development.
Must kill?
Oh, must kill. Like,
Must kill.
For me, must kill means like go at it. Like, like you must master.
I got
Must kill. One habit you must kill. Thinking too small. Thinking too small is a habit you must kill. A lot of people are not bigger, greater because they're thinking too small, man. Every time I talk to business owners, one thing that I see is just, bro, I just want to make, I've interviewed I'll tell you this, I've interviewed hundreds of people. And I told them, if you had a magic wand and you couldn't make any amount of money, and you'd be surprised the times that I've gotten 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, or I want to make only 6 figures. You see what I'm saying? So thinking too small kills entrepreneur. Thus, entrepreneurs need to kill that habit of thinking too small.
That's good. That's good. One habit every entrepreneur must build?
Working on yourself every day. Like, you need to build that habit of just growth. Thinking growth at every moment, bro. I would say master that, and yeah.
Okay. You're going to fill in the blank on this one, all right?
Let's do it.
Success requires more blank than talent.
More dedication.
This is another fill in blank. The biggest lie entrepreneurs believe is?
Money doesn't make you happy.
Yeah, it's a fact. One book or mentor that influenced your journey?
Wow. I have to pick one book or mentor, are you saying? One book or mentor.
Yeah.
Mentor for me, it was Grant Cardone.
Okay.
Grant Cardone was the guy that I saw that he was, his family was in order, right? The guy had his business in order, wanted to level up. There's a lot of things that people don't see that Grant does, with his foundation. He was helping people. He was truly, like, his team was successful. That's one thing that I noticed. Like, people driving into his parking lot were $100,000 cars. And I've actually met personally people that worked with the dude. And they were doing well. And after they left working for him, all of these guys are starting businesses and like they just think about growth. So he's made his impact. And that's why, when I was studying him, and I still study him, I look at it, it's like, what impact are you creating? People don't see the behind the scenes. I've been fortunate enough to be able to see that, to be around his daughters, to be around the information that he's around, the people that he's around. And, my hat's off to this guy because on social media, you don't see all the impact that he's creating, all the people that he's really helping, and all the people that he's getting out of the mud, by sharing success, by sharing all this. So I have to grant him that beingness of just, man, hats off to the guy. He's done great things. And everybody that I meet that comes from his influence, they're great people. They want to learn. They want to expand. They want to do well. So he's attracting, and his message is really touching those people that are doing that. So that I would say that for me, that's a mentor that really allowed me to see that side and also aligned with my own core values for sure.
That's powerful, man. Yeah, I feel like I would say it's unfortunate to a degree when people think they know someone and what they're doing, and then you put up this image, whether it's social media, and it's like, well, this person, all they try to do is extract the negative out of what a person is doing, right?
Yes.
It's the famous saying, damn if you do, damn if you don't. You'll never see another successful person hating on another successful person. You don't have no time to.
Yeah,
it's always the person that doesn't want to do anything with their life. They're on the sidelines. They don't want to get in the game. Coach is like, yo, put me in the game. You don't even want to get in the game, but you're quick. I said, man, if you were this good, how you critique everybody else's life, you'll be a multimillionaire.
Absolutely. And criticism comes, it's funny because criticism comes from your own wrongdoings.
So do you feel like they're projecting that on other people?
Absolutely. When you're super critical about everything, that's because you've been doing so much wrong. So many things you're doing are wrong. So many things you yourself are, you feel shame about. So you critique. Like criticism comes from that. You see what I'm saying? So when a person's highly critical, for example, when I'm interviewing candidates, man, and I see somebody criticizing the heck out of their job, I'm like, man, what did you do to those people? You see what I'm saying? Like, my boss was a blah, 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 and he would always pick on me, and their bathrooms are dirty, and, that's why nobody lasted there for no. And then it's just like attacking. I'm like, the first thing that I see is there's a lot of things that you did to that company that you don't want them to find out. Thus, you're just, boom. So, and that's why I understood that, and understanding that lets you know, like, you see, when you operate life at the level of knowingness and you start knowing these things, there's never a point where you're going to know it all. But when you start knowing these different things and how the human mind and humans operate, man, you're more valuable to society. Because, see, I can coach this person now. I can be like, you know what, instead of me going back and, yeah, you're right, blah, blah, and validating that they're a victim, I can be like, man, what did you do?
So good, bro.
What can you do about it? You see, so that's where criticism comes out. And another thing that I would tell you, D, is like when you were talking about what people don't know, when data's not available, people will make it up.
Sheesh.
So, people will, because the mind is there to solve problems. So if I tell you, hey, what's in that corner, you're going to start envisioning monsters. And, who's in the closet? Oh, my God, kids. Like, there's a monster in the closet.
Yeah.
There's data missing. Then you open up the closet. Look, it's only clothes in there. Wow. Oh, okay. So where data's missing, people will make it up. Wow. So that's why it's very important to fill up the vacuum with the correct information. If not, people will make it up.
Got it. What's one thing you want to leave for the people?
One thing I want to leave to the people, man, is like, there's greatness in all of us. There's an abundance of money out there. There's an abundance of success in this planet. There's many people right now is the best opportunity to make it if you want to make it. Because there's the era of AI, the era of social media, the era of making money online is really happening right now. So I would say, man, if you want to make it, don't hate. Congratulate, get part of the circles that you need to get part of. Be who you are looking to have and to be in the future. You could be so right now. You don't have to wait until you have $1 million to have $1 million mindset. So, and there's enough for all of us to go around, man. These people are printing it. So if you're money motivated, you like money, you want to attain money, if that's your target, then these people are printing it every single day. There's no scarcity of it. You can get it, man. Be the best that you can and go out there and be great.
Love it, man. Hey, bro, I truly appreciate you, man. This is my brother for sure, man. From the moment that I met him back in, I believe, 2018, 2019, he started pouring into me. Like, I remember you were talking about, like, ads, running ads on social media. And I'm like, I thought about it. You were just eager to just, like, serve and put me on game with it, man. And I truly appreciate that, bro. This is before I even had a business, got into, entrepreneurship in 2019. And still taking your advice. So I want to share with you, like, bro, I'm peeping game from afar. We may not talk every day, but I'm peeping game. I'm taking copious notes, and I'm executing as well, bro, because there's so much in me left. And I love being around people like you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a privilege, honestly. It's a privilege that doesn't not only go unnoticed, but it's appreciated for sure. More than you know, bro. So keep being an inspiration. Keep killing shit out here, because people need to know that anything is possible. Like you said, you a kid from the DR, and you came here, and you out here making things happen. How old are you, bro?
I'm 35 right now.
You're 35 years old, bro.
Yeah, 35. I wish I would have, I'm being the person that I wish I would have had through those days that I was young, that I had no direction. So you see the taking responsibility part.
Yeah.
I'm taking responsibility of being the person that I would have wished I found along my journey. So now I'm putting that forward. I don't have no program. I don't have no paid anything. The only way that people can exchange with me is going to my business, right? Mm-hmm. You come to my business, you can exchange with me. There's no other level of exchange, but I put out so much content, and it's just, man, being the person that can help somebody that is stuck, because I've been there. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I was stuck. I was in places where I needed the right guidance. So every day when I turn on my camera and I'm on social media, I'm thinking of that kid that was there. Kelvin when he was 16. Kelvin when he was 21. Kelvin when he was 28 in the clubs, lost. Where was Kelvin at? And if this message reaches Kelvin, how would he be? And now I'm putting that message out to all the Kelvins in the world that can identify with my message so they can be great, because there is greatness in all of us. And many, many D's and Kelvins exist out there in their own fashion, and they want to hear this message. So what you're doing as well, allowing me to come on this podcast to share my message and share my experiences, I really thank you for that as well. And what you and your wife are doing, man, continue. Because just like you're watching me, people are watching you. And people are learning from you and what your wife is doing. So, and there's many little D Browns out there that are like, bro, I want to be like D. I want to have a wife like D. I want to educate like D. And my life, I want it in my own way, but I identify with what the D's and the Browns are doing.
That's dope, bro. Appreciate you, bro. It's love, man. Man, guys, make sure you like, subscribe. We'll have Kelvin's information in the description below. Until next week, we'll see you soon. Love.